This is part two of letting go of things. What does that mean? Letting go of things, and what does that mean? Well, we're about to find out. Well, I did find out in the first thing that I wrote, the first thing that I recorded. Um, Letting go is kind of another way of saying acceptance. Letting go of something is kind of another way of saying accepting and coming to terms with that thing. Even if you still think about it, even if it's still something that crosses your mind and you reflect on, that doesn't mean that you haven't let it go. You can still ponder on that thing and think about it and come to a place of acceptance. But then, well, what if it feels like I have accepted this thing, but I still can't? Like for instance, of something I would say, like, what if there's a habit, like something you're actually doing that's has physical actions towards the thing. Like I'm actually physically, it's not just something I'm letting go of that's just in my head. In terms of me thinking about it, it's something I'm letting go of that I'm making physical action towards. That's a little bit more difficult, I feel. How do I let go of something that has physical implications? How do I actually stop doing that thing, that habit I'm trying to stop? Because what if I do come to a place of accepting it, but I'm still doing that thing? That's a little bit of, within my experience, where there's like a bit of confusion in terms of letting go. And then coming into the new year, 2023, I don't like doing the whole, this new year, I'm going to get it. I like more doing it now. But, I mean, New Year's about to be in like 3 days. So I wanted to have this video where I channel and see what Spirit has to say about this. Because there's a part of me that understands. There's a part of me that understands, and then there's a part of me that understands that I understand. But there is a part of me that doesn't understand something about letting go. And then there's another part of me. I'm trying to speak slowly so you keep up and understand. There's another part of me that understands. He knows that, okay, Isaiah doesn't understand something, but he also thinks that doesn't matter. You don't have to understand that thing. You should just let it go anyways. You don't have to understand everything to be able to let it go. You can still let it go. My glasses look crooked. I've been thinking about that since the first video I recorded, but that's just my glasses. They're crooked for some reason. Getting off topic. You don't have to understand something fully. You don't have to understand a situation, a habit, a person. Definitely a person to be able to let that thing go, be able to let it go fully. But what if understanding kind of feels like it'll help be able to let it go? What if the thing that's causing resistance is trying to understand something? Like, I just want to understand, not even understand the thing, the person, the event, the habit. I just want to understand, why is it so hard to let it go? There's something within me that I'm trying to understand. What if I let this thing go and create a sense of acceptance that I'm just not going to be able to find that aspect of me that I'm trying to understand? What if I leave a part of myself within this habit, person, or event that I'm having a resistance towards letting go of? Because there's something in me that's trying to understand something, a relationship with me that's a part of that thing that I'm wanting to let go of. I hope you're keeping up. But I can't understand it, but I could either keep trying to understand through the process of failing to let it go and still revolving myself around this habit, like, oh, indulge in the habit again. Let me try to find clues of why that keeps happening. Let me try to listen to what's going on in the moment of indulging to understand, like, what are my emotions feeling in that moment? Or I could just be like, you know what? I'm getting nothing here. I'm not getting anything. I'm not understanding. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay that I don't understand. I'm going to just let it go anyways. There's two paths here. There's two paths I can take. Do I keep trying to understand it? Or do I just say, you know what, I accept that I just don't understand in this moment. I can let it go. But then there's a part of me that's like, oh, but Isaiah, what if we let this thing go and you don't understand? What if there's a part of you that you're supposed to understand within this? A part of you you're supposed to find within this thing. A part of you in 2022 that you haven't found yet, that you're still trying to search for. And if you let this thing go, it won't be there anymore. I mean, you'll leave it behind. But again, in my first video I just made, I just discovered that letting go doesn't exactly mean leaving that thing behind fully. The thing could still be there. It's just like you have acceptance with, it's more of a place of acceptance. Something I have to reflect on. Because if I take that and put that towards, well, my own personal experience with habits and things that have physical implications, the thing is still there. I think Isaiah should stop talking. I think I should stop talking and I should listen. So I'm going to close my eyes and allow Spirit to share what they think. What does Spirit think about this conversation that I'm having? What comes to me? I keep seeing a scene from a game, and this game is called Horizon. Forbidden West? Yes, Horizon Forbidden West. This is the second game I've been playing recently and I've been having a lot of difficulty with. I've been playing it on very hard mode, which is not the hardest difficulty, but it's the difficulty that's right before the hardest difficulty. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. But I'm seeing an image of this game and the main character called Aloy. Aloy. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Is it? It's not Alloy. It's definitely not Alloy. Aloy. Seeing an image of the main character, she seems to be hunting a boar. And this boar is very close to her. She's hiding in very tall grass, and it seems like almost I'm Aloy. I'm the character in this scene, and I'm hunting the boar, and I'm very, very close to the boar, and I could, I'm holding a spear, and I could spear this thing at any moment, but I'm kind of just hesitating. I'm not even hesitating. I'm just waiting for the right moment. I'm waiting for the right moment, but it's clear from me, this perspective, me watching this scene is like, okay, the moment's here, you should just take it. It's right there. What are you waiting for? It's kind of like watching a sibling, if you have a younger sibling or older sibling, a sibling play a video game, and they're kind of is watching it from a perspective of, how can I explain this? You're watching their playthrough, and you're in your own head. You're staying quiet, but in your head, you're like, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? You could do this. You could do it easier. There's a way easier way to do this, and they're kind of just going really slow, moving the camera around really slow, and it's kind of frustrating watching them. But you don't say anything because you don't want them to feel bad. Why are you taking so long with this? I'm just gonna have to allow myself to wait. I allow myself to wait. And I'm just watching. Do I call her Aloy? I'm getting confused. Do I call her Aloy? Do I call her I? I almost did this, or Aloy almost did this. I'm gonna say I. I got up from the bush and was about to strike the boar, but then I stopped and I realized, do I want to do this anymore? So much time has passed. I'm almost forgetting why I'm even needed this board. Did I like need it for food? Did I need it for like its skin to sell? Did I need it for like money? Like what am I doing right now? What was the mission here? What was the main goal? What was the goal? I'm kind of like getting lost in what the goal was. How much time has passed? Why did it take so much time? There's so many questions now. I'm just trying to understand my like why was I just sitting there for so long in that space? Now there's all these confusing thoughts. Like where I'm kind of feeling lost now. I'm feeling confused. The board, the board is still here. Like, why is the board just sitting here watching this? But I'm not really caring about the board anymore. It's just like it's kind of foggy and disorienting, almost feeling like where am I? Who am I? Like existential. It's getting so deep. Why is it getting so deep? You were just hunting a boar. Maybe I'm making things deeper than it needs to be. Me trying to understand is making this way deeper than it needs to be. Do you want the boar or not? It's kind of like, do you want it or not? Just say yes or no. Like, I mean, you could get the boar and just save it for later, or you could kill the boar and realize I don't really need boar meat. I don't even like boar meat. Why did I just kill that boar for no reason? I just killed an animal for no reason. I mean, I could always sell the meat, but it's like, I mean, is that really worth it? It feels like it's not even enough money for it to feel worth it. So I could say no, and then that just gives me so much more like, it feels like a release to just say no. It feels like a release of what? A frustration, like a breath of fresh air almost, to just say no and to move on, like keep pushing. Figure out what your mission was again. Figure out what your goal was. What was your goal outside of this thing? It almost seemed like hunting this boar was the main mission of the game. Like imagine you're playing Horizon, or you're playing a game where the main mission is you're hunting this boar. And it seems like such an intense journey. You're hiding in the bush, waiting for the right moment. And the boar is right there, but you're still waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That was not the goal of this game. I don't even remember what the goal of that was. It just seems so insignificant now. Like I'm in a part of the game where it's like, maybe in the beginning of the game it was like, okay, I can understand because I'm actually learning how to hunt in the beginning of the game. I'm learning how the benefits of killing a boar. I'm learning like what it gives me. I'm learning like, you know, how to skin it maybe, I guess. But like now at this point of the game, like why do I need it? Why am I in this situation? I can move on. So I mean, as that pertains to me, it's almost like my sense of trying to understand so hard is what's causing it's like a big cycle. It's like a big spiral almost. And it feels kind of annoying. It feels more frustrating, I'd say, than annoying, but it feels like it's kind of, I've created more of a relationship with understanding. So if there's anything to let go of, let's say I do have a habit here that I'm trying to let go of. It's not even that I'm trying to let go of the habit anymore. It's more like you need to let go of this sense of trying to understand. Because this sense of trying to understand is bringing up all these existential, everything is so deep. Oh my God, I want to know myself. I don't even know who I am anymore. Where am I? I'm lost. What am I doing? Like, what was the main goal of even being alive in this place? What's the purpose? What is my purpose? What are my gifts? What am I doing? You gotta let go of these trying to understands. it was very simple to begin with. It was very simple. But I made it more complicated than it needed to be. Maybe that means something for me. It definitely does. I see. I mean, I think there's okay. Now I'm presented with a part of myself that's like, okay, I hear this, and I can't exactly say that this is not something that I've heard before. I can't exactly say that this is not good advice. It's definitely good advice, but I've heard so much good advice for this for years now, and I've still decided to fall into this habit. So it's almost like any advice I receive, I'm losing a sense of trust or faith with that thing because I'm almost not trusting that I can let go of that thing. Like, yeah, that makes sense, spirit, but because of my patterns, I'm not too sure I'm gonna be able to let this go. That's great advice, but we already know how this ends. It's gonna end up with me hunting this boar again. It's gonna end up with me hunting this boar again. Faith and trust. Faith, trust, letting go, acceptance. There's a relationship here between those things. And this is something, it feels like spirit is, it feels like, okay, if you're having a conversation with someone and it starts to get kind of heavier and you notice that the person is like finding the words, but they're trying to be delicate with it, this is how it feels. Spirit is trying to be delicate with me. Like, how can we put this? Because they know that this is, it seems simple. It seems simple, but this has caused so much. What this is about, this habit, has caused a lot of pain. And there's almost like an understanding of why that's caused so much pain, which is why they're trying to be delicate, because it's not something you could just like push away like it's small. It's easy to compare it to someone hunting a boar, but they're taking too long and they forget why they're even doing this. So then it's easy to compare it to something like that, but at the same time, it's also easy to see like, oh wow, this is something significant. This is something that was significant, that caused a lot of hardship. But I have to be the one to choose. Like, there's a lot of aspects here. There's so many things, and I feel like this is also a struggle of almost understanding. It's pretty easy to get lost in trying to understand. Like, it seems silly at first, but it's also kind of understanding at the same time. It's easy to get lost in that feeling of, wow, I don't understand this. What happened? I'm trying to understand myself. I'm trying to understand this message. It's easy to get lost there because there's so many things. There's so many aspects here. There's so many relationships I'm forming through this thing that I'm trying to keep up with. Which is interesting because it's almost like a benefit of this. There are so many relationships I have built through this habit. A relationship with faith, trust, letting go, acceptance, my choices, my own sense of freedom in a way, my freedom in my choices, within my choices. I have a choice here. I have a choice of choosing, well, what would I like to fall into? And falling is such an interesting symbolism for me because in an empty space, I could be falling, but I can also change my perspective, and then now it looks like I'm flying and I'm rising and not exactly falling anymore. And then it's like, okay, well, where am I about to land? Regardless of if I'm flying or if I'm falling, where am I about to land? And then that's where the aspect of faith comes to play, and trust. Faith and trust in what I am falling and flying and rising into. And what choice am I going to make? Or what choice do I want to fall into? So many relationships here. Taking a second to just sit down in this space. I'm back in this Horizon game in the tall grass. But I kind of leave the grass and I'm now sitting with the boar, just looking at this boar. You know, you caused this me deciding to hunt you caused so much. It stirred up a lot here. There's a lot to think about, a lot to reflect on, huh? And the boar is just kind of staring. There's a lot to think about. What else is there to share with me? What else can Spirit share with me? Seeing an image of a pyramid. It's kind of an interesting pyramid. It's like it's like orange. It's made of light, and I don't know what type of light this is. It looks like it's kind of energy-esque. This is a pyramid. It's going up like this, and every side of it is made of energy light, and the base is kind of more of a solid square type of base. And on every face of the pyramid, on the sides of it, and even on the bottom of it, it has a symbol. It's a very interesting, spiritual looking thing. I also don't know what this is. I don't know what to make of this thing. I don't know what to make of this. I reach out my hand to examine it. I don't know what to make of this, but I'll sit and examine it. I reach out my hand and it becomes a size to where I'm able to hold it within my hands. And I'm feeling around this thing and I'm examining it and almost like a scientist. It's like I'm performing a scientific study now. It's interesting. I see it has these sides, it has these symbols. I'm writing these things down, writing these notes down. Okay. See, it's made out of energy lights. Write that down. The light is orange. There's some significance in the color orange. Let's write that down. I'm a scientist. I'm performing a study. And then I make a realization. You know, it'd be a really good way to explore this thing. I make it a bit bigger, and then I just breathe it into my being. And then it turns into like a smoke, and it goes up my nose and down into my body, and I see it going into my veins and my blood, and it's flowing throughout every aspect of me. The color orange, and this orange-esque energy, and the symbols melt into a liquid, and they go into my blood and my veins and every atom within me, everything. It feels like I'm trying to understand this now, this experience. Let's write what I have down so far. At first, I wanted to say it feels extreme, like an extreme intensity. Then I also wanted to say it feels complete opposite of that. It's super chill. It's like very, very chill. It's very simple, actually. It's very calm. Very calm. There's two different extremes. How do I understand two different extremes? How do I understand extremes when I'm faced with extremes, two extremes within myself? When I express one extreme going into another extreme, how do I understand the relationship between these extremes? They all came from the same source. Maybe they both want me to know the same thing, but two different sides of it in a different perspective. I'm learning the same thing, but in one perspective, I'm learning the same thing in another perspective. I'm in a space where I'm falling, but I'm also flying. But at the end of the day, this is just me in a space going to a destination. It's the same thing. It's just two different sides of one coin. The coin is a coin. You use it for one purpose, but it has two different sides that look different, but they're the same. So I can say, okay, I can find some acceptance with the differences I find within these experiences. They originate from the same thing. They may look different, but I accept. I find ease and peace with it's okay that they look different. It's okay that they're extremes. I could learn the same thing by focusing on either or. That's definitely something that's beneficial to learn even within the human experience. Faced with so many different extremes. And it brings me back to when did I say that? The first video I made? Where it's like, okay, in the beginning of the year, there's like good things that happen and there's bad things that happen. But if I group these all together, it's just things that happened that added to the same progression. If both of them are part of the same progression, are they really good or are they really bad, or they just are what they are? They're something that helped me learn. They're something that helped me grow. Regardless if something within the bad experience maybe look like, oh man, I'm going backwards, or I'm falling, or I'm losing sight of everything that I've learned, and it feels like I'm losing everything. But that was still part of the same progression. It feels like I was going backwards, but really I was still going forward and upward. And sometimes to end that experience of feeling like I'm just going backwards is just to acknowledge that no, I'm not. And that's where you embrace the relationship of your choices and your perspectives. I'm not going backwards. It may feel that way right now, but and I acknowledge that it feels this way. I acknowledge what this extreme looks like, but I understand where I'm going. I don't even understand why it's like this right now. Maybe I don't understand why it's like this right now, but I understand that it's okay. And now I have my relationship with faith and trust again. It's like working through all these relationships I've built through this thing. And it's not even about this habit anymore. It's just about taking what I've gotten from this habit and applying it to just life now. So it's like this thing wasn't my main mission, but I couldn't finish the whole mission. I couldn't finish this whole game without going there. I couldn't have. How could I have finished the game? How could I have finished this main mission in the game horizon, in this image, in this space, if I didn't go to that like little weird side quests of hunting a boar, but staying there for so long and waiting for the right moment and not even doing it and forgetting why I was there. That was so important for me. It was so important for me. It taught me so much that I could apply to literally every single thing within my life. Everything within my life. It seems like that's all Spirit's gonna share for now. How does that feel? That there was an Isaiah that was like, yeah, that's good to know, but this isn't really gonna help me. We all know how this ends. There was that Isaiah expression. How does he feel now? How does he feel now? There's some sense of heaviness, and that heaviness is being rooted within kind of just being afraid. But there's some sense of, okay. If you trust in this, Isaiah, I will follow you. And he's shaking like he is afraid. He is afraid of ever going back to that place again because... But we have this now. We have this, what this taught us. So it's almost like even if we go back to that place, we have this. Can things really hurt me the same as they did before? Will that relationship even be the same? Can we really go back to that same place? I don't think I can. My perception of things are just too different now. It would feel like I would have to just lose my memory to go back there. So okay, Isaiah. Okay. There's less shaking now and more of a relaxed willing of this Isaiah to follow me. It was more of like a walking side by side. I don't know if I want him to follow me. I don't know if I want to follow him in a way. It was just walk side by side. That feels like a good thing to take into the new year. And it feels almost like this is something that was within me. I'd say a piece of it was in me here, and a piece of it was over there, and a piece of it here. But it's like bringing it together and putting it into words. Maybe I do need to put this stuff into words. In the first video I made, the part 1 of this, I was like, I have a feeling, but I don't know if I need to put it into words. Yeah, maybe you do, because now it feels just like more of a like, oh wow, that feels good. That feels so good to say. I didn't even say it yet. I want to say, like, it feels like I'm in a place of, okay, I understand. And me being able to say that, okay, Spirit, okay, Isaiah, I understand. That has been wow, like a thing to struggle for this whole year. This whole year, for some years, like, wow, okay, I understand. And maybe I'm on this side of the fence where, I don't know if I understand right now, but I have this experience from this board that just taught me this thing, and these relationships I have that are all supporting me. Literally, every single one of them are all supporting me, even the extremes of who I am, the extremes of life, all supporting me. Okay, I understand. That's good. I think I'm going to end the video here. Again, I know I have a tendency to, it's not something I want to apologize for. I like to take these spaces and just give myself as much time as I want to record these videos, but at the same time, I know life is a time-based place, and some people don't give themselves enough time. Sometimes people can't give themselves enough time. Some people just don't want to sit here for 36 minutes and listen to this random guy talk about things. But if there's that moment, if I have a person that's sitting, listening to this whole thing, I do appreciate that. I don't even know if I feel like I need it, but I appreciate it. I'm so grateful for that because, again, you didn't have to do this. But if you sit through these videos and you watch these videos, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and it's going to be the new year soon, and Happy New Year's. I hope you got something from this. I definitely did. I'm going to still reflect on this and let it actually digest into my being, but I'm grateful for everybody and this whole experience and these accounts that I have in this video creating process I've been doing for a year now, and all of this stuff. There's a part of me that still doesn't really understand all of this even, but I definitely I'm fine with that. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you so much and take care.